Hello and welcome to the last Math Thursday of this year's Devtoberfest. Today is really packed. We have a lot of sessions today, but right now with me, I have our partner from Microsoft, Holger Bruchelt, and Tanvi, my wonderful colleague, who is leading the AI enablement internally. And this session is a little bit crazy to introduce. We will start with Holger, who's going to tell us about the OpenAI services, um, and how you can access the Azure OpenAI models via Generative AI Hub and what you can do with them. He's going to share a use case that we luckily share now and not in the beginning of the Oktoberfest. Otherwise, my colleague Daniel would have probably been a little bit angry at me. And after that, we will have Tanvi, who will tell us about our internal AI enablement hacking days. And then we will actually also see the three winning teams, and they will tell us about their experience they had developing with large language models, which models they used. Spoiler alert, they used the GPT models. And they will also share some experience and their use cases. Holger, do you think I summarized the session well, or did I miss anything?
Perfect. No. I think you covered it very well.
Great. Yeah. Then how about you just start? And then after that, we hear Tanvi about our global generative AI learn and hack days. And yeah, and then in the end, we have the teams.
Thank you so much, Nora. Yeah, no, I think you said it very well. I think it was really amazing to see what all the developers at SAP did during these the hackathon or the hack day, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some of the results that Tanvi will present, and then also hearing from the actual teams. But before we go there, let me quickly actually also introduce myself, and then show you a few things that you can do with the SAP AI Launchpad, with the GenAI Hub, the services there, obviously in combination with the Azure OpenAI services, because I think there's some really cool things that you can do. And as you said, it's good that we play this at the very end of the Devtoberfest, because the things that Daniel has done there, it's really cool. And I think that's actually the beautiful spirit of the Devtoberfest. So I'm let's go there later. So before I continue, my name is Holger Bruchelt. I joined Microsoft 7 years ago. Before that, I was a long time SAP employee. Now I'm with Microsoft, and what else? I'm focusing on AI at the moment. In my specific case, it's very much AI from the Microsoft side in combination with SAP. So what can we do together? How can customers benefit from leveraging Microsoft technologies with SAP technologies? Obviously, there's a lot of Joule, there's a lot of Copilots in there. So that's what I'm focusing on at the moment. So for this Devtoberfest, what I want to talk about is I do want to quickly start about Joule and Copilot. And then I want to talk a little about the reference architectures. So actually several months ago already, maybe even a year ago, we had started to create reference architectures for the business technology platform, how customers can build, I don't know, a CAF application and really enrich this with AI technologies. So this is something that we did already a long time ago that we published there. Then I want to take a closer look at the AI Launchpad, the GenAI Hub, also again, as mentioned, in the combination of Azure OpenAI services. And then Tanvi will talk a little more about the AI hackathon. So as mentioned, before we go into these details, whenever I talk to customers about AI, when I tell them that I'm working with SAP on these AI integrations, I would say the very first thing that they immediately ask then is, oh, that was the Joule and Copilot announcement at Sapphire. So when Christian Klein was on stage there and he showed the Joule and Copilot integration. And honestly, this is something where we are getting a lot of questions, a lot of feedback from customers right now. There's a lot of interest in this because obviously, if you are coming from the SAP world, you know Joule. You know that Joule is the digital assistant that allows you to easily work with your SAP solutions, that allows you to look up data by just asking a question. So this is very much present for all SAP customers. I would say at the same side, when you talk to Microsoft customers, they all know about Copilot in M360, in Microsoft 365. When you open up Teams, Outlook, Word, Excel, or something like that, that you have there your Copilot. And obviously this Copilot knows everything about the Microsoft world, about your documents in SharePoint, in Outlook, in email, and so on. And the idea of bringing those two Copilots together is just something that I think makes total sense. And again, there are a lot of customers that really, really are looking forward to getting their hands on this. I actually also think when Christian Klein mentioned this the first time at Sapphire, so 6 months ago, half a year ago, there were not so many people that really talked about an agent-to-agent integration. But actually, if you look at this, that's exactly what Joule and Copilot is doing. We really have here this agentic integration that only now a lot of customers and partners and the industry is talking about. But here, SAP and Microsoft, I would really say that we were and are at the very forefront there of bringing the best of our technologies there closely together. So I will not talk a little more about this. This is still very, very much in development between our two teams. We have dedicated teams, obviously, on the SAP and the Microsoft side, working very closely on this together. We will have new announcements there. I think the next ones will be at Ignite. So Microsoft's big next conference in November. But then in the next calendar year, you'll definitely hear more about the Joule and Copilot integration. The great thing here is this will be out-of-the-box content provided by SAP and Microsoft, which is fantastic, obviously. But since we are here at Devtoberfest, I guess a lot of our viewers want to know, how can I develop my own integrations? And especially, again, when you are coming from the SAP side, you know the business technology platform, you know how to build a CAP app, you know how to build beautiful user interfaces with UI5 and stuff like that. So how do we actually now get this AI integration? And I think that's where SAP started to use the GenAI Hub to really have this collection of multiple large language models that allow you then to abstract and connect to LLM providers. And very, very early on, and again, I think Microsoft and SAP, we were there really, again, on the very forefront. We created this reference architectures, which shows how via the GenAI Hub, you can connect to the Azure OpenAI services. So that you as a CAP developer, you just care about developing your CAP application, for example. You just care about working with the GenAI Hub, and then all the connectivity, all the fetching the endpoints or working with the tokens, all of this is handled by the GenAI Hub there. So it's a really, really beautiful scenario. And again, we have been we have this published for quite some time now. So this is definitely something that you should check out on the Discovery Center, and get going developing your first CAP app that actually uses Azure OpenAI services via the GenAI Hub. So I already mentioned this Azure OpenAI service quite a few times before. And actually, if you are from the Microsoft world, you probably know the Azure OpenAI services, you know the Azure OpenAI Studio. There we also have a lot of large language models there. The idea is that you have here your central entry point, basically, where you can browse all the different models, where you can test, where you can prompt, where you can fine-tune your services. And that is also something where we provide large language models from OpenAI. So all the GPT-4, GPT, older models, 3.5 or something like that, but also very, very new models like O1 preview and stuff like that. These models are available via the Azure OpenAI service. Now, these services, and that's the cool collaboration that we are doing there with SAP. These services are available via the SAP GenAI Hub. So if you go to the official documentation for the AI Launchpad, for the different GenAI services, then you see a long, long list of these services that are exposed, that you as a customer, you as a developer, can easily consume and leverage from the business technology platform. And that's actually something where you deploy, you configure the models that are relevant to you. So for example, in this specific case, we have here configured a few models like 3.5 Turbo, a rather old model in the meantime, which is a little crazy if you think of it. This was just released a few months ago, but in the meantime, there's so much dynamic, there's so much innovation that we have GPT-4, GPT-4o, GPT-4o Mini, and these models are all available on the SAP GenAI Hub. And that's actually really, really cool because they come with different capabilities. And some of these models are also multimodal. So it's not only text-based input, but you can also use images and stuff like that to work with the large language model. So it's really, really fascinating to have this single entry point on the business technology platform AI Launchpad, where you then can work with the different models available. And I thought one of the questions that we very often get is, when should I use what model, basically? And I thought, well, how can I best demo this scenario? How can I show you what you can do with these different large language models? And I came across this really amazing crossword puzzle that Daniel has created for the Devtoberfest. And you can see here, there are lots of different questions. There are some hints, obviously, like a typical crossword puzzle. And I thought, well, let's try and see what the GenAI Hub, in combination with Azure OpenAI services, can actually do. How can it help me solve this crossword puzzle? So I would say let's take a look at what you can do with the AI Launchpad, what the GenAI Hub there can do, and let's see how we can solve this crossword puzzle. Let's quickly take a look at the SAP AI Launchpad. So I'm here in the workspace. I have different resource groups already configured. And actually here in the ML operations, I have configured several large language models that I can use. So if I click on create, if we give this a name, Devtoberfest AI, if I select the scenario for these foundational models, select the version, then you can see there are a bunch of models that I can choose from. I would say at the moment, the Azure OpenAI services are definitely the ones that are used the most. We'll also take a look at some of the winning scenarios of the SAP internal hackathon. Well, you'll see that the top 5 teams all selected Azure OpenAI services. So in my specific case, I've also deployed here several Azure OpenAI models. And the cool thing about the SAP AI Studio or the AI Launchpad now is that I can configure and work with all these different models to easily test and compare them. And you have here the prompt editor that allows you to really test, to really provide some additional information and optimize the prompt. But a very easy way to get started is actually here this chat. So here I can actually start with a simple question: how are you? And now this chat functionality allows me to interact with this specific model here and get answers. So if I say, how are you? I get a nice answer back from the SAP system. To make this a little more tangible and to also compare the different results, I thought it might be good to actually do a real life test. And for this, I thought, let's take a look at the Devtoberfest 2024 SAP crossword puzzle. Obviously, we'll not go through all of these questions, but the idea it's a really nice puzzle that was created here by Daniel, and there are a bunch of different questions. So I thought let's start with the first question here. So an artifact of SAP build process automation for creating a bot. So what I can do, I can just take this question and say, look, I need your help to solve the Devtoberfest crossword puzzle. I will give you the question and the number of required characters and brackets. An artifact of SAP build process automation, blah, blah, blah. And now I get here, for example, bot builder. Yeah, maybe that's okay, but you can also see that there's a dot. So actually, if I would test this out, if I would enter this here, then this would not work. So this is obviously not correct. But luckily, the SAP AI Launchpad gives me the possibility to select easily other models. So what I'll do is I'll do the same thing again, now with GPT-4. So I'll ask the same question here with GPT-4. And now you can see I'm getting the answer automation. that looks actually much, much better. So this sounds like a really good answer for this. An artifact of SAP build process for creating a bot is the automation. So let's continue with the next question. The next question is the software that gave SAP its start. So if I put this in here, then GPT-4 provides me with the answer R3. This is actually wrong on many, many levels. First of all, there are only 2 characters here, obviously, and I was explicitly asking for 3. Well, maybe that's an issue with this specific model. So let's do the following. Let's again switch to GPT 4.0, and we'll start with the mini version. So with this mini version, let's again clear the chat. Let's ask the question again. So I need your help, and in our specific case here, the question is the software that gave SAP its start. So I'll put out this question here, and now this already looks better. It is R3, R/3, which sounds good, but actually this is still not the right answer, the correct answer. So we are getting better, but this is still not the answer that we are looking for. And actually, you can also see there are a bunch of different questions. And this is a picture, so I cannot actually copy and paste. But let's actually continue and switch to the latest model, GPT 4.0. I just save this again. I clear the cache. And now let me do the following. I already took a screenshot of this crossword puzzle. And now what I'll say, please help me solve this puzzle. So no entering any information, but really using the multimodality of this language, and the GPT 4.0 is able to access the picture, read the question, and provide me with an answer. So you'll see it also provides me here with an answer R/3, which is not correct. So you need to test it out by yourselves. But you saw it's much easier to get started here. We could do additional boundary conditions in this whole thing, so that potentially we could check, we could evaluate, we could run a few more tests and so on to really also improve via the prompt the quality of this model. The really powerful thing is, and that's really here with this multimodality, is that think of this could be an invoice. This could be a photo of a product that was just created to do some quality checks. This could be something to detect a certain scenario in your plant, in your fabric, in your company, out of which you extract some relevant information. So with the power of having different models, obviously also with different price points, you can really select the models that best fit your specific scenario. And then the SAP AI Launchpad provides you here with a great capability to create the prompt that really results in the best answers for your specific scenario. Okay, so I think I hope this demo showed you how actually cool it is to work with the GenAI Hub, how easy it is actually to switch between the different large language models that are available in the GenAI Hub. And now let's see how this can actually become a reality. How thousands of SAP developers used the GenAI Hub to develop new scenarios, to test and learn, obviously. And with this, Tanvi, let me hand it over to you. So yeah, you can show us what these thousands of developers actually did at SAP.
Thank you, Holger, for such an exciting session and demo. I am sure that everyone who is here watching and listening definitely received some inspiration, some solid ones, either to get started or maybe keep them motivated if they're already working on some ideas. Now, before I start, maybe a little about me. So Nora already shared who I am. So I am a learning expert at SAP, and I lead AI learning for everyone here. Which sounds very small, but trust me, it is quite stressful. Not just kidding. I'm so glad really to be here and to be able to share an overview of one of our initiatives that we did earlier this year with all of you. So at SAP, what we did was we took this immense opportunity that was in front of us, and we drove this inspirational activity globally. And when we organized this global GenAI Learn and Hack Days for all our employees, all 100,000 plus, irrespective of who they are, which teams they come from, which roles they are part of, really driving this, I would say, large language model initiative largely at SAP. So with this initiative, our goal was to move everybody here to being aware of what is happening, what it is all about, to really becoming practitioners. So giving them this kind of jump start to becoming practitioners and being able to work on the GenAI use cases. So as Holger was mentioning, that we already had, I would say, the environment and the platform set up in a way that would make us ready for this kind of initiative to run. So we offered the entire platform where they could learn, get some ideas, get inspired, experiment, and build innovative solutions in a safe environment, right? So everybody has their products, has their ideas, they can work on that, but really we wanted to give them a very true, real experience, but in a safe environment. And then all of this leading to building their GenAI expertise across the board. So as I said, this initiative was open to everyone across SAP, whether they are from one team or the other, whether they are in developer role or not, but we did have a focus group as well. Now, looking at some key elements of this massive events, we were able to offer close to 20 inspiration sessions. And these sessions were not only from our internal experts and speakers, but also we partner very closely with our partners, for example, from Microsoft, from Google, from AWS, everybody who are making this possible for us at SAP and generally for our customers. We did have our participants work in teams of 4 to 6 people. We did provision the entire infrastructure. So as Holger was also showing and talking about, we do have the GenAI Hub. We also have a parallel environment, which is for experimental purposes that are internal AI use cases. So we kind of leverage both. Depending on their ideas and use cases, they have the opportunity to leverage one or the other, whichever makes sense for them. Now, what happened was that with these inspiration sessions, the setup, and not to miss talking about the expert support. Now, this was crucial to kind of make this initiative even possible and successful, because this is something that this topic being so new still was lacking, that people are not able to get in their day-to-day. So we did provide this deep expertise support round the clock. Now we had an open channel where people could come and talk about, ask their questions, specifically about their ideas, generally about generative AI. So we had this whole channel that was available to our developers all the time. And now, of course, it's not just about the experience, but also what happens after. So they had this golden opportunity to kind of work there on their use cases and ideas and have the option to be one of the top 3 teams. We did see an overwhelming response and participation, literally overwhelming. We did not expect. Of course, we believe truly in experimentation. So if from a learning team perspective, also it was a big experimentation also for us to be running this kind of initiative at the scale. So we were humbly kind of received with a huge participation, over 10,000 people engaged. We had 700 ideas. Now, I will give you a sneak peek into what there were bettings going around, how many ideas will come in. We had maybe 300, maybe 400, and it was a combination of 300 and 400. We had over 700 ideas that were submitted from our colleagues here at SAP, which was not a small feat, and that too in a matter of just a couple of weeks. Now, to take you through very quickly at the timeline of this immersive learning experience, you will see that it was an intense one. So even though it seems like it was just 2 months, you will not realize how quickly these 2 months went by, from an ideation to working, the development, the voting, the decision making, the judgment, the presentation. It was really intense, which did require a lot of focus, time, and energy. And definitely we had a lot of fun. So fun doesn't remain somewhere else. It was all embedded as part of this whole experience. We did run a hybrid mode of this hackathon. So we had virtual teams participating, but we also ran an on-site hackathon at more than 20 global locations, which saw over 500 colleagues participating. As I mentioned, we had the expert channel always open. We had models available through our infrastructure GenAI Hub with more than 20 models that were available for people to leverage. You will see that how this was kind of leveraged in our presentations that from our winning teams in the next section for sure. Now, coming to what it all ended up into. So the end was no less spectacular than what we started with our 10,000 participants from the 20 inspirational sessions. We did take the route of voting. Now, this was a bit tricky because, as I mentioned earlier, it was an overwhelming response. So we had to find a way how to manage this. So we did take the route of voting. So we went through a top 100 most voted. Then we were evaluated by our experts. We went down to top 5 teams who presented in the finale. And from that, our executives, our learning head, and also our engineering of AI head, they were the executives that these top 5 teams presented to. And ultimately, we had the top 3 winning teams that you see here on the slide. We will take time for each of these teams where they would talk about what AI models they use, which OpenAI services they kind of leveraged, why did they come up with that idea, what was their experience. So we'll go into the detail, but I'll give you a very high-level overview of each of those teams, what their ideas were, who are the people from these teams in the upcoming slides. So we had the first team, the winning team, who has worked on the idea of AI-assisted RFP responses for the win. So now this itself, you'll see that it is very exciting from the title itself. I will not spill the bean on any of these ideas because I really want you to hear from the horse's mouth, and they will have the opportunity to share the whole experience from how did they get to kind of their idea, how did they work on it, which models they used, and what got them to be the top team after all. Now, looking at the second team, this was rather a large team. Now, this was, again, something which did not expect. We had all kinds of teams coming together, and you will see that, that's why we have included here. They're also coming from many different teams. This team definitely focused on the idea, which was about intelligent feedback analyzer. This is an internal use case for now, but we'll see what are the potentials, and the team will talk about it, taking it to our customers as well. And then with the last team, one of the top 3 teams, threat modeling automation team. This team purely came from everybody from France. And they have been working on this idea in their heads for some time, but this kind of initiative gave them the space and the platform to kind of really spend the time to bring it to life. And they are moving ahead really well as well. Last we checked with them. And now with that, I will congratulate, I think, once again, these teams, because it's not a small, I would say, accomplishment that they were able to achieve in this short frame of time on a topic that is still very new to most of us, right? And with that, I will hand it over to our teams to walk us through their experience, their learning, and also what use cases they worked on.
Hi, I'm Jochen from SAP, and I'm a technical architect in Cloud Success Services.
Hi, I'm Sylvain Cazenave. I'm doing technical account management and product expert at SAP.
And I'm Gunther from SAP. Thank you for joining and listening to our story.
The GenAI hackathon at SAP in 2024 was a 1-month learning and hacking journey in June and July, open to any employee within the company. It included a number of virtual and in-person sessions with AI experts in the learning phase, and for the hackathon phase, a total of over 700 ideas were submitted, with over 300 ideas being accepted and brought to life by teams of 4 or more people. Participants in the hackathon were given access to all of the latest GenAI tools and technologies at SAP. Together with the expert learning sessions, the hackathon created a supportive, innovative, friendly, competitive, and collaborative team environment with ongoing chats and Q&A. Everyone was welcome to participate with or without any prior hacking skills, and I think everyone who participated would agree it was a lot of fun.
We decided to create a tool that will reply automatically to RFPs, requests for proposal, which are open requests for offers to provide a solution corresponding to a company business requirement or to complete a new project proposed by a company. In any organization, gathering the information to answer to a new incoming RFP is a time-consuming task. The detail and quality of the information provided will be key for the success of a proposal. Generative AI can be used to both extract and store the content of past RFPs already replied to, and to use them as embedding to generate a reply to new similar questions using RAG. The RFP documents can be submitted in any format, text, Word, etc. And after an acquisition of the data, the questions directed to your company are extracted and can be checked or edited before being first answered to using RAG, which is then completed with a search in trusted open sources of information to provide additional details or alternative replies. An agent then selects the best answer to improve the RFP quality, and the result can be edited and exported to a Word document. As architecture, we are using a mix of BTP Kima Runtime, Object Store, SAP AI Core to host open source foundational models, Generative AI Hub, and HANA Vector Store for the reply creation, with Python-based LangChain and Crew AI agentic framework, which can improve the RFP quality by cross-checking several possible replies.
Now let's look into the demo. First, the intake process of a new RFP. You give a guidance here, so what services, products you like to sell, potentially customer information that you have, any background details. Now you upload all the data that you have, meaning all those documents that you received from the customer, and you push the upload button. After that, we go to the menu, we check for an open RFP. That means one that has been already parsed for the summary, the pain points, and we can see now the questions. We're also able to make changes to these questions, and we also see the source, like on which page of that document it was found. Next, we can kick off the research, which will start the research engine, and you see here the agents are starting. They pick the HANA Vector Store as the first tool, and here you have an overview how we do it. So we're embedding the image, the information, and the meaning together with the text. And afterwards, once the agents completed the research, we can go back to the UI, move to the answered folder, and open up the answered RFP. And you see we have a very detailed and also formatted information with the according source documents and the pages where the information was found.
One of the challenges was that the actual hacking time given was only a couple of weeks, and as a result, we had to implement our design in a short time frame. The greatest takeaways for me, together with all the new tools and skills I learned, was a new appreciation of the positive potential of AI and the importance of talking to the intended end users of our RFPGenius.
The main challenge I faced, and also my learning, was to be able to query the LLM to obtain the reply with the expected format and content. Asking detailed questions with as much context as possible helps direct the replies in the right direction.
Hello everyone, my name is Alex Liu. I am the author of the Intelligent Feedback Analyzer. I will present the idea on behalf of the team. Our hack team consists of 9 colleagues from 4 countries. Our journey began with GenAI learning. Before learning, actually I have no idea about retrieval augmented generation. After learning, I found RAG could solve real problems in my work, so I submitted an idea. Luckily, we formed a global team on voluntary basis. None of us knew each other before. We started learning together, brainstorming together, and built a prototype from scratch. Thanks to the team and event organizer, Now we are standing on the top 5 final stage. The problem we are trying to solve is about feedback analysis. Today, organizations receive a huge amount of feedback from customers, partners, and employees. At SAP, Employee Engagement Index is a key non-financial KPIs that our management needs to disclose every quarter. We all know feedback is important for improving employee engagement. However, our colleagues are still using manual approach to process this unstructured data. This is inefficient. Meanwhile, employees feel frustrated because their feedback never gets a response. SAP has many tools to collect feedback, such as Qualtrics feedback services. However, our colleagues are still relying on traditional tools to analyze natural language. Look at the screenshot in the middle. How can you imagine this bar chart, pie chart help you to interpret natural language? Without deep understanding and follow-up, employees feel emotionally disconnected. Our solution focused on 3 areas. First, understand. We use large language model to analyze emotion, intention, and topic for each feedback item. This helps us deeply understand what employees are really thinking and feeling. Second, act. We use SAP Joule to connect manager and employee, make the listen, understand, act loop fully transparent. This significantly improves employee satisfaction. Lastly, automation. We leverage prompt tuning to improve accuracy. We use RAG to propose actionable recommendation. We introduce intelligent scoring to prioritize feedback. This enables manager focus on high-impact comment. From architecture view, we follow RAG on BTP architecture. During indexing process, we store knowledge documents in SAP HANA vector database. We pre-processed feedback data and remove all personal information before sending to large language model. During query process, employee or manager can use SAP Joule to get insight and follow up. Now let's see a demo.
We begin by retrieving feedback data from the Qualtrics system. Survey Manager selects Unfiltered Survey and exports open comments as a CSV file. Next, we upload the feedback data to Intelligent Feedback Analyzer. Alternatively, we can upload evaluation dataset to facilitate prompt tuning later. The analyst uses the prompt editor to develop and refine prompts. He provides specific instructions for the LLM, such as translating feedback into English, summarizing content, classifying feedback by topic, emotion, sentiment, and intent for deeper insights. Return result to JSON format. Once the prompt is drafted, the analyst can use the evaluation dataset to assess performance. The system shows assessment results and suggests improvements for fine-tuning. Next, analyzed feedback data is stored in the SAP HANA vector database. Analyst manages knowledge base by uploading internal documents, such as SAP policy or guidance. Documents are split into small chunks, each containing 2 kilobytes of tokens. These chunks are stored in the powerful HANA vector database. Ensures fast, reliable access and intelligent indexing. Finally, the analyst can automate feedback prioritization using a multiple criteria decision-making approach. By adjusting parameters and weights, the scoring system is optimized. This saves effort and eliminates human bias.
I am Isabella and work for SAP as a manager. Now I can use SAP Joule to ask questions about employee surveys. For example, to get a summary of employee feedback, I can ask, "Can you please summarize employee feedback by topic?" The Intelligent Feedback Analyzer searches the internal knowledge base and provides feedback. Excellent. I can quickly understand the employee's concern and retrieves a proposed solution from the internal knowledge base. Confident in the accuracy and helpfulness of the proposed solution, I click Accept to update the status to Solution Provided.
Thanks to the Intelligent Feedback Analyzer, this loop of listen, understand, and act is now more effective, leading to increased employee satisfaction and engagement.
Hi, I'm Laurent Gomez, Security Testing Automation Lead for CPIT. Well, thank you for giving us the opportunity today to present our idea around threat modeling automation. So, well, behind this initiative, there are 6 different security enthusiasts. The team is built upon a diverse mix of expertise ranging from security tool to development to AI, but we are all engaged in fostering security best practices at SAP, and we believe GenAI can significantly contribute there. We are all located in SAP Sophia Antipolis, SAP Lab Sophia Antipolis, renowned for its expertise in AI and cybersecurity, and we leverage these strengths to build and what we believe would be a game changer in threat modeling at SAP. So, if you ask Joule about threat modeling, it would define it as the critical and mandatory part of the secure development lifecycle, SDOL. It helps us to identify and mitigate vulnerability early on at design time, preventing them from being major security incidents. However, many developers find threat modeling a daunting task, and Sarah exemplifies well this sentiment. But she is not alone, and as our security expert conduct manual threat modeling workshop in collaboration with development teams. But she is somehow right. Threat modeling can indeed be intimidating and resource consuming, and the cost of threat modeling is estimated at 24,000 person days per year, totaling 12 million euro annually. And this leads to the core issue. Today we face several challenges with threat modeling. These include a limited numbers of threat modeling experts, resulting in inconsistent quality and coverage of threat modeling reports, difficulty to implementing this threat modeling within product development teams due to, for example, delivery pressure or whatsoever, and high cost of resource requirements. But we can do better here. We need a solution that makes the threat modeling accessible and efficient for all developers, seamlessly integrating it into the SDOL. So the challenges are real, but so are the opportunity, and GenAI offers the opportunity to automate threat modeling. GenAI can support proactive threat modeling identification, mitigation, ensuring adherence to up-to-date security standards. It can also streamline the security process, making it a seamless part of the development lifecycle. And most importantly, GenAI can enhance the developer experience, making threat modeling a more enjoyable and effective process. By leveraging on the power of GenAI, we believe we can overcome these challenges and contribute to a more secure future for SAP products and services. But let's see how it works in practice. So in this demo, Sarah, our developer, interacts with Joule, our GenAI assistant. She starts by describing her application and architecture. Joule, powered by GenAI Hub, analyzes this information to draft the first architecture. We use here a fictitious video surveillance system for smart city, where few cameras are connected to a central video recording system and monitoring platform. Once Sarah agrees on the architecture, Joule can proceed with the generation of threat modeling report. Joule is fully equipped with SAP threat modeling guidelines and security standards to produce a comprehensive SAP-oriented threat modeling report. Based on Sarah information, Joule generates pre-filled threat modeling reports, including the agreed architecture and an initial list of threats and mitigation. As you can see here, Joule does the heavy lifting, allowing Sarah to focus on building great application. but also to learn more on threat and mitigation on the way. Being better prepared for her next threat modeling workshop. This is just a glimpse of our solution capability and the impact technology can have on secure software development. From an architectural perspective, we use advanced SAP GenAI technology such as Joule, GenAI Hub for threat modeling, processing, and reporting. The underlying LLM, currently GPT-4o, have been enhanced with SGSC security standards and threat modeling methodology documentation with pre-prompting. We are currently developing a RAG to extend general purpose LLM knowledge base with SAP security specific content, including security standards, requirements, threat modeling documentation, and others. And we operate on SAP BTP platform, guarantee scalability and adherence to SAP data governance standards. In a nutshell, our GenAI powered solution for threat modeling has the potential to benefit over 40,000 SAP developers and save 12 million euro annually. And this is already attracting interest from SAP threat modeling community, and we have already secured 3 pilot projects, including one with Hyperspace, the SAP Future Development Platform. We have validated the technical feasibility and are ready to move forward with refining the solution. This tool empowers threat modeling experts and developers to build secure applications by providing knowledge and automated threat modeling reports while maintaining human oversight for continuous improvement. We promote here a culture of security within the organization. Well, thank you for your time. If you still have some questions or simply want to join forces on this journey, please reach out to us on our distribution list. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.